What's up, everybody? I'm Jerry, this is Pat, this is Sean. We are the creators and the founders of Major League Axe Throwing. I want to make a video today to show you guys how to set up your target and your lane to be MLAT compliant. First thing you'll notice when we're talking about MLAT, we've got our fault line 145 inches away from the face of the target. Don't really need to worry about what color it is or how thick it is. Just make sure that it's clearly defined, easy to see. So when we're drawing our target on our boards, we're going to go over what we need to get that target up there. First and foremost, we need our drill, tape measure, pen or pencil, spray paint, our red and our black Sharpies. Get that down in there. And our stencil. Both the Milwaukee Inksol large chisel tip and the Sharpie king size fit in our stencils. I like using the Milwaukee a little bit more. It's a little more expensive, but I feel like it lasts a lot longer and it's worth the price. Now, making our way up to the target, you'll see that we have 5 roughly 10-inch wide, 4-foot tall cottonwood boards. We have the top of our footer set at 35 inches, and the center of the bullseye, or we call it the strike, is 24 inches above the top of the footer. That makes the center of the strike 59 inches off the ground. So we've measured the total width of the board, divided that in half, and made a mark. We've also measured our height at 59 inches, so we know exactly where to put our guide screw for the stencil. Now that we have the guide screw secured, we'll slide our stencil on and start drawing lines. I like using the Milwaukee Inksol chisel tip marker, but the Sharpie king size works in our stencil as well. I just find that the Milwaukee lasts a little bit longer. It is a little more expensive, but I think it's worth the price. Our strike is 2.5 inches in diameter, which happens to be the size of a tin of tobacco. You'll also notice that we have a lot more scoring rings than you're used to. I'll talk more about that when we get into the gameplay of Major League Axe Throwing. Every ring after the strike is 2 inches wide. The point value starts with 9 being closest to the strike and goes all the way down to 1, which is on the outside ring of the target. Next, we're going to draw our splits. The splits are 1.5 inch equilateral triangles. These are located on each of the 4 corners of the target. To figure out where the splits are going to be, you'll need the stencil and a pencil or a pen. We'll start with the upper left split and work our way around the target. You're going to take your stencil, place it at the top of the target, make sure it's level, do your best, it doesn't need to be perfect, and you're going to draw your first line. Now, take your stencil and place it vertically on the left side of the target, just outside of the 1 ring. Make sure it's level and mark your second line. It's important that you stagger the stencil far enough left that your horizontal and vertical lines intersect. Next, you're going to grab your stencil and line up the triangle so each point hits a line with the third point pointed at the strike. Then grab your pencil or pen and trace it out the triangle, fill it in with a marker or a Sharpie, and you're good to go. Repeat that process with the 3 other corners and your splits are finished. Next, we're going to draw our tiebreaker. It's a little tiny spot, just the size of a nickel, that sits down at the bottom of the target in the middle of the 5 ring. You're going to put your stencil on the guide screw, let it fall down, and you'll see that bigger hole between the 2 stencil holes for the lines. Going to rest right there in the 5. Go ahead, trace that with a pen or a pencil, and then fill that in with Sharpie. That's going to be our tiebreaker. We call it the grimace. Next, you're going to use a stencil to mark the X on the strike. We've designed the stencil with a rectangle cutout to make it easier to get those clean, crisp lines. So intersect those, make your X, trace them out, fill them in. Then you're going to mark your numbers from 9 to 1, and you're good to go.